Welcome back to the show. This is Paul Posey on Boys to Men Talk Radio. And this is the second half of the show, and we're going to talk about some things. Talk about that bounce back. Talk about how we are going to get our culture back on track. We've been decimated. We've been destroyed. We've been enslaved. We've been tricked. We've been bamboozled. All those things happen to us. What we can't get back is time. We can't get back to yesteryear. We have to look forward to tomorrow. I know people are saying we've been hurting all these things, and you saying we can bounce back. That's easier said than done. I get that. It's easy to say that. Well, it took maybe 2 seconds to say that. But we have to turn this around. We can't let pain and anger, you can throw in shame too, keep us from moving forward as a culture. If we do, at this point in time in 2017, we are the only ones to blame. There is no point. There's no pivot point anymore. This is the pivot point. We need to start loving the children that we make because they are our tomorrow. We are the history makers right now. So our complaints and shaking our fists and ignoring the fact that we've made some decisions that put our bloodline in jeopardy. This is on top of what has happened to us. This is on top of being shot by the police. This is on top of the raggedy politics we have in the United States right now. We have to understand we're the only ones going to do it. They're not going to vote our pain away. They're not going to do anything. They cannot help us. When I say they, I'm talking about the government and everything you tell me why we are the way we are. None of them are going to help us. We have to help ourselves. We have to go ahead and modify our tomorrow today. So how do we do that? Well, if anybody's read my book called The Living Solution, in The Living Solution, there are 5 steps to solving a problem. That's what I think. This is how I move through my life. The first thing I do is identify the problem. The second thing is identify who caused the problem. The third thing is to fix it. The fourth thing is to understand the lessons that was learned from this problem. Number 5, which is really, really important. Create a rule so it doesn't happen again. 5 steps. You can apply it to almost anything to solve your problems. But the greatest thing we have to understand is number 5. After we did all the work and the investigation and creating a solution to the problem, then we need some rules in place so it doesn't happen again. You can do that for almost anything. We don't want to do it. We should be angry at ourselves. So if you want to know more about the books that I wrote, they just say so much of what I see when I woke up. And I see change needs to be made. Being on Boys to Men Talk Radio, it's going to give me my platform to share these things, because these young men today are our fathers tomorrow. And if they don't understand their roles for tomorrow and how they are going to be a part of the solution, there'll be no solution. And we would be angry for another 30, 40 years until someone comes along and understands that our true issue right now is the lack of family unity. They are using us against us by leaving it. So here's what I mean. The projects, the programs that are made are the ones that help us perpetuate this cycle of dysfunction. There are no programs out there right now designed to move us forward. The programs out there right now are just designed to keep us in the same cycle. If you are on welfare, and you've been on welfare for 10 and 12 years, and then your children get on welfare, and your children's children get on welfare, ta-da! You are the hamster on the wheel, going nowhere. Hell, I don't even think that hamster is running at this point. All the programs are chasing the symptoms and not fixing the problem. And I need you to understand that you're a part of the solution. No matter what has happened to you, you're still a part of the solution. If your mother didn't love you, if your father didn't love you, if your father molested you, if your aunt molested you, if someone traded you for drugs, the only way you can stop all this is be a part of the solution. Call a spade a spade. No pun intended. Bad people are bad people. And bad people do bad things. Now, there's a good chance that stupid people do the same thing over and over and want to have a different outcome. Of course, we call that insanity, but it's the type of people that keep doing that. So who are those people that don't want to apply a bounce back? People that are so hurt and damaged that they can't help anybody. They can't be a good aunt, a good uncle. They're horrible parents. Because they don't see the bigger picture. Because they're stuck with their pain and anger. So, we have to learn to solve this problem that we have. So talk to your kids. Talk to these young men and young women about tomorrow. And don't let your pain and your anger keep them from growing. When you generate these missing pieces in these kids, they stop growing. They might grow in age, but that little love wheel in them has stopped turning and it's stuck. You can tell because they're hurting right in front of us. You know, I think tattoos are cool for some people. But when you do it overboard, you're trying to send a message. People say you can smoke marijuana. I think when you do it overboard, you're trying to send a message. When you drink all day, I think someone's trying to send a message. Because happy and healthy people don't do those things. They don't. The only message they really send is The only message they're really sending is, I want to be loved, and I want to love. But it's hard to love when you're forced to connect with people who haven't been loved. And there goes the cycle again in our relationships. I mean, it's hard to show love and be loved by someone. It's hard to break the cycle when you're trying to love your way out of this. And what I mean by that is, you marry someone or you have a child with someone in hopes that it would change our situation, in hopes that it will help us to be happy. But if we don't have the tools when we make these children, we're making a mess. And we see that often. The untrained, the unloved, creating a family. So the bounce back is not going to happen until everybody's on board with it. We have to reach out and talk to everybody about how to turn this around. And we need to generate a bounce back that everyone can understand and be a part of. And the easiest thing is, of course, easier said than done, is to love the ones that you have. Raise the ones to be greater than who you are. Stop this pain train that keeps moving down our bloodline. Simple, but it's going to take a lot of work. Notice I didn't say anything about the government. Notice I didn't say anything about the church, because those two groups don't talk to your kids. Those two groups don't help you pick that you become a parent with. Since you make your own choices in this area of who you lay down with and create a child with, you are responsible. And when you get up and walk away from the table, you're even more responsible of not being a part of the solution, of allowing what has happened to us in the past to keep happening, but from our own hand. So I'm going to close out today by sharing some information about where to find me and where to find the things that I have going on. First, you can find me on Facebook. I'll tell my Facebook story one day. I'm on Facebook. I'm on Instagram. So if you go to Amazon.com and you type my name in the search bar, you will find all my books there. You can also contact me if you need me to come out and speak on our behalf about the solutions, the simple solution that's easier said than done. It's been a pleasure for my first show to share what I think. I want to thank Ruby Johnson. I want to thank She Talk Radio. I want to thank my co-host, Robert Benson, for this opportunity. So until next time, I need you to think about your role in the solution. This is Paul Posey on Boys to Men Talk Radio. Peace.